Power Rangers in Space, episode 20. Very good number to introduce to the Power Ranger in Space Ranger. Most of the episode is just like an invasion zombies sort of fight, where they fight these tall Jawa-ish aliens, even though they pretty much use the same robes as the KO-35 robes, which are the same as Jedi robes. And then they get to the Silver Ranger. Silver Ranger takes a bullet for Andros. A big fight. Spoiler alert, too late. You know, it's dramatic. They show it visually, even if it's not meaning much, but at least they do it visually. I forgot what else to say about it. A lot of the extras are just standing there rooting them on. But that worked in the Power Rangers in Time Force, Power Rangers in Time, Power Rangers in Space, Power Rangers Time Force finale, so I guess it worked. Even though it was Sentai footage. Worked for King of the Day in Power Rangers Zeo. So anyway, let's get to the big meat of the episode, introducing the Silver Ranger. After the flashback. First off, I don't know if this was as bad in the previous episodes, although it was sort of bad. But those spandex colors are not. They look like they've been washed and faded, and they used the wrong kind of detergent. They look very preschool-like, and just not very professional for acting in a Power Rangers show. They're bright red colors, and this is a very serious series, a Jed Lynn series, opposed to like a Camp Rangers or Power Rangers ripoff and Yosemite ripoff season. Spandex in this episode is really bad. The Silver Ranger looks like a White Ranger. The Red Ranger looks like a Red Crayon Ranger. Like, looks terrible. He comes out of the suit, the ship, very slowly. I was spoil this point, just to get out of the way, just so I don't forget it. But they don't have like a Zord for the Silver Ranger. I wonder if I'm pretty sure he was in the Mega Ranger footage overall. I'm not sure because I haven't actually watched it yet. I'm guessing he didn't. I'm guessing the life signs for Mega Silver are like in the last episode. Cause I'm pretty sure he lives, but like I'm just guessing that that's where they got the ER stock footage from. He has these cool karate moves. I found he introduced the way Justin Nimmo expressed himself and as like the Sixth Ranger was a little bit weird though. Here's how I would rank the Six Rangers up to this point. Green Ranger, Phantom Ranger, probably Phantom Ranger over Green Ranger, over White Ranger, over Ninjor, and Boost and Charming pretty high up there too. I consider Tommy Red Ranger and Cat Six Ranger, and both of them Six Rangers, and one in Turbo, two in Tommy and Turbo, Cat in the third season of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Six Rangers. Those are character-wise, not so much power-wise. Zane didn't really come off as badass. I'm not sure what his character is supposed to be like. He's supposed to be a badass, I'm pretty sure, though. He's a little bit lighter and more friendlier than Andros and the Dros, and it's pretty evident throughout the show, from what I recall. I haven't watched it in a while. Which he does kiss Ashley's hand in the beginning. Something Andros wouldn't do. Although I would get later into how his character is sort of confusing. Like, he's this badass Red Ranger who infiltrates the Alliance of Evil moon base in the beginning. And later on, he's like always constantly doing campy Super Sentai stuff, which isn't necessarily the. They could have adapted it a little bit better, is all I'm going to say about that. So he does that, he dates Ashley. I don't know, he doesn't sound. I don't really remember Andros that well. I wanted to do this whole article on that, but I'm going to get into it a little bit now. Just to explain my point for Zane. Andros isn't as memorable as Jason Lee Scott. Jason Lee Scott is very well cast, unlike Andros, or something like that. Not necessarily casting, but something just didn't go right in the pre-production. Obviously, John has an awesome voice, fits the role very well, has great chemistry with the cast. In real life, he's like a professional, nice guy. I don't think Andros, and Christopher Cayman Lee, they're totally different characters, but like, just like Jason David Frank, like, you can't tell outside of the TV show the differences. Actually, even more so with Andros. Thank goodness for Christopher Cayman Lee, because like, Tommy, you can sort of tell he's a little bit of a goof off. Like, after Dino Thunder, like, when he's in the PETA episode, Rita's PETA episode, everyone knows that's Jason David Frank, at least according to where sources are. Unless there's like some sort of YouTube fourth wall breaking thing going on. Christopher Cayman Lee, like, if you never met him in real life, you couldn't tell he was Andros. Totally different characters, totally different people. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool that he was able to portray the character that way. That being said, though, they treat him as this badass spy person going into the Alliance of Evil. The Phantom Ranger, it's like a Phantom Ranger. His character is written like a KL-35 rebel, like a Edenoi rebel. He doesn't seem that badass, though. He doesn't seem like he's traumatized, dealing with the stresses of good or evil. They write him, and it doesn't really work on a drama level, and we all know he's supposed to be, I don't know, I felt like he was supposed to be badass in the original episodes with, like, sneaking into the Alliance of Evil. I'm totally also against, like, giving him, seeing his face. Like, I felt he was a lot cooler when he just didn't take the helmet off. Much like the Phantom Ranger. Maybe they don't want it to be repetitive, but as a result, it sort of doesn't pay off. He doesn't have an Austin St. John 80s action hero look, which I would like in Andros, the KL-35 rebel. That being said, I do like how Zane's a little bit lighthearted, and sort of works with contrast with Andros. Pretty drunk after that drinking game. He does do a lot of cool kung fu moves. Zane does. I don't know, I'm not sure if this is a character, but he seems the day a bit, but I don't know. I felt like at least they were consistent with him, unlike Andros. Sorry, shit. He's more lighthearted than Andros, and it works. He's one of the more lighthearted Six Rangers at the time. Yet he's badass and can save the day. Yet he has the whole losing powers thing, which they get rid of later for whatever reason, like the Sentai footage. And that works, and I feel that worked better than Antonio in Power Ranger Samurai. I felt it worked better than Cam in Power Rangers Ninja Storm. I felt that I don't know, I haven't watched the whole series yet, but based on what I remember, probably worked better than Trent. Worked better than Ryan. I don't know if it works better than Magna Defender, but I have to rewatch to think about it. I'll think about it. This is just a list of a whole bunch of them now. Not as good as at least most of the Mystic Force ones. SPD ones, like a Master, Dougie Kruger could have been really better. Taizan is pretty good. Has a pretty good backstory. I don't know if he's better or worse, but like, if you've seen my Operation Overdrive videos, but I like what they did with him. Oh, I actually didn't cover it probably, but I'll get into why Taizan's pretty good. I like what I remembered. Because I had the whole thing where I just obsessed over how just to get a little bit into it a little bit. I don't think Taizan should have got rid of the mask, and what they do with him is very good, with his backstory of his wife. If you pay attention to it, opposed to just caring about him not being the alien monster thing, which would have been a better choice. And might have been done due to a budget reason, but it does pay off pretty well. And there's Neil Saban, which doesn't really matter. I don't know. Something interesting I would debate, in addition to Andros versus Jason, is Zane versus the RPM Six Rangers. Who would you consider more well written? Maybe not more well written, but more in depth, or more well delivered, or executed from pre-production to the end product. Because I have to think about that for a while. I don't really have an opinion about that. Meanwhile, Andros versus Jason, I pretty much have an immediate effect about that, even though before I was a little bit swayed by people saying that Andros was a pretty cool Red Ranger, really the title and everything. I do think he is, but I think he's written in a certain inconsistent way that, although he's well received, I feel like he could have been better, and definitely isn't as well executed from pre-production to this end like Jason Lee Scott was. Zane. So anyway, back to this episode 20 of Power Rangers in Space. It has this cool, badass move where he just flips around and slices the monster a million times. So he does like a corkscrew turn, he slices. He does a few corkscrew turns, slices. He does high jumps and corkscrews. He does like a back salt, moonsault, backslash to him too. It's pretty cool. I mentioned that he kisses Ashley's hand. Says in the next episode is pretty clever. Does a lot of stuff. Could have done more without the zombie stuff, but like, or zombie-ish stuff, but like, that's how it is. I don't want to mention that thing that I think isn't really the intent, but like TV Tropes claims weird stuff with Hoye, but let me say. I don't think it's very weird that he keeps him in. I mean, he's his best friend. I keep, friendship, you keep those good bonds. Relationships are good bonds too. There was a female cosplayer that wrote fanfic and creative cosplay of the idea of a white or a silver ranger. which you can't really do because she was a female. Because like I don't know, maybe it's not canon. Maybe he was just saying it to impress Ashley. But he said, or maybe he lied, but he said he'd never seen a female Power Ranger before. It doesn't go to his casting for a reason, but that's something interesting to think about. Fun fact. Fun fact. Trying to figure out what else I can do before I end this vlog. Covered intro, covered destroying the monster. Oh, the mech fight. Covered it a little bit, I guess. Zane stays in the ship. He makes sure Alpha doesn't shake around too much. They send the cockpit. I don't think they go into the Delta mega ship after a while. It's cool. I mean, there's not really much to say of the episode. Right? I really want to make it short, but like, I add the Andros, Zane contrast the Andros, Austin St. John, Jason Geiger, Jason Lee Scott, contrast. I mean, it was a pretty short episode. Hopefully, I get more into his character later on. He's cool. He can do martial arts. So he's sort of like Tommy, but like he's more laid back. He's more serious. He's not goofy and like obnoxious. He's like they made him cool in like a teenager way. Even though he's like a KR 35 guy, like he's less serious. Yet he went through a lot of hardships and he loses his powers and has a limit on his powers and stuff. Spoiler in case you didn't know. And he has a lot less drama going on. I don't know if he's the biggest jokester, but like overdoes the Cycle Silver thing, which is a spoiler. But like, he seems like the one to relax in the group. I don't know if I never thought about how well Justin Nimmo created the character or how they wrote the character, but there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about with Cycle Silver, yeah. Mega Silver, Orange and Space Silver, Silver Ranger. First Silver Ranger. That's all I can think of at the moment. I'm out of breath. What are your thoughts on the Silver Rangers intro? How's it compared to the rest of the series? How's it compared to the rest of Rangers intros? How's it compared to the rest of the characters in the show? Not to mention the franchise, not to mention Sword and Era. Comment below.